Hello everybody. I hope this is bright enough for you. It's really quite overcast today. It's blowing a gale outside and raining. So hopefully you can see well enough. Today I'm sharing with you another petite size journal. This journal measures 6.5 inches by 3.5 inches. It has 2 signatures. It has a fairly soft cover and 56 pages. And I thoroughly enjoyed making the last small journal, and I had bits and pieces still on my desk and things like that, and I was in the mood and I loved the neutral tones, so I've made another small size. It is different to the last one. I hope you enjoy seeing it. That is the back. This beautiful lace I've joined together. It was one that I found at the Collectorama last month. We're in December now. Oh my goodness, isn't that incredible? And I've put this lace all over the top of the file index. What are they called? It's like a divider card, that's what it is, which I've used for the cover. The colour of it is this green colour, but on the other side it has almost a khaki kind of, a nice earthy kind of look. So I've used that as the background on this journal and just put the lace directly over the top, and I really like the way that looks. It gives it a nice old appearance. I've used a little bit of Crafty Me shop lace, not a lot in this journal, on the cover here, and on the little tag here I've used some snippets as well. I have this lovely image from the Paper Cameo, also from the Classic Collection. It was I still had them out from the last journal, so I just used one, and I put a little bit of tulle over the top of that image just to soften it. I didn't want it glaring. I have a beautiful flower here with a mother of pearl button, and it's all stitched around. There's a lot of machine stitching in this journal and also a lot of hand stitching. I had to spend a couple of hours outdoors the other day because we were getting some fumigation done, and I can't just leave the house because I've got indoor cats, and so I had to have them outside with me and look after them. So I did some hand stitching while they were out there. So I have this lovely mesh to tie the journal as well. So all that hand stitching is in this journal. So here we go. I have this lovely fabric that I have coffee stained on the inside of the journal, and this beautiful vintage lace that I've put across the bottom here as a pocket, another mother of pearl button stitched on there. These are the leftover scrap pieces from all the pages. You can just undo that little bit of mesh there and use the papers, and I had this one little flower just floating around, little vintage one, so I've just slid that in there. Now if you ever have a problem of things, oh, I am sorry about that, I forgot I had my phone in here, getting into pockets and bending up, use your ruler and straighten them out. It makes it so much easier. Okay, so I will just, you can see I've done hand stitching along there and down the side and across the bottom on that page there. These are the little sample snippets that I've used in here. Some zigzag stitching. I've used, a new digital, that's right. I saw it on Instagram. It's, I've got it written down here. Lisa and Olive. That's the name of the Etsy store, and I have printed these out in miniature, but let me show you. I do have some bigger ones. These ones were actually too small, but I thought, well, it's a small journal, it can handle it. But these are like the larger ones. So there's that one that I've got, that one, And I think this one has another page. These are, I think these are a little bit smaller than normal as well. And there's those ones there. So I've used some of those in here. So on there I've got a lovely piece of vintage lace attached. And I've just stitched that on. So all you have to do if you want to use that little bit of lace somewhere or on a project, just cut the thread and you can take the lace out. That just has a tiny belly band there that slots through. And just a little tag, and this is made from I had a couple of sheets of the Stamperia Atelier paper left, so I've used one of the sheets as tags. I think it's very pretty. It's got bits of lace and stitching and things, so it works out well. I have the sample die cut, doily die cut there. Beautiful, lovely trim on the side there with a fabric flower and a little button stitched on. Little corner tuck with a Crafty Me Shop snip there. More of the designer paper from Stamperia. Just a little tag. Gorgeous lace, and that's hand stitched on across the top there as well. That's a little bit of top of music paper, and I thought it's so nice, the colouring of it, so I made a little tag out of it and stitched a little snippet of lace and things on there. Just the mesh. I love this mesh. Just scrunched up the Tim Holtz lace edge dies I've used. Little tag here. Got to be careful sometimes that you don't catch the threads. That's the only thing when you're sewing things. So that's just a little tag made out of Kaisercraft, the offcuts of Kaisercraft paper, and I've just made a little tag and put it in that little pocket with some sari silk and another little fabric flower with a vintage sequin in the center there, and that's held on with this lovely little paper clip, if I can get it on. They're lovely, but they're fiddly sometimes. There we go. And a little bit of tulle tied. Some more of the sample snippets, some beautiful silk. This is a raw silk that I got at the Collectorama as well. I've cut it into some strips and sort of scrunched it along the bottom there. Another offcut of Stamperia paper with a little bit of Crafty Me Shop offcuts. More of the Lisa and Olive printables with a lovely flower. Oh, this trim is just beautiful. I found it thrifting. I don't know whether it's really old or it just looks old. And it was only $1. Look how pretty it is. It's ever so pretty. So I've put one of the flowers on there with one of the vintage sequins as well. Then we have the middle of the signature. I have this lovely lace piece here that I have hand stitched on, I think. Yes, I've got the stitching across the top there. It was fun to sit outside and do that. And then we go back the other way, just an offcut of the silk fabric. I think it's that one. Tied in a bow. More of the Tim Holtz lace dies. That's stitched on that little bow there, so there's the threads at the other side. Little flower corner tuck that has been hand stitched. Just a little tag in there. And I love the way the stitching comes through on the other side too. It just gives it a different look, doesn't it? I have hand stitched in books before, on and off. I just, there's a little bit more in here because I was stuck outside for a couple of hours. Some more vintage lace and some little flowers and the little snippets. One of the Lisa and Olive printables, and I've just randomly found small mother of pearl buttons in my jar there and stitched them on like that so they can be used. More Tim Holtz dies, just a little tag I've made with vintage lace, and a little offcut of vintage lace there, and I've stitched it around. And doily, that's that lovely trim. Isn't it beautiful? This is lovely. There's a little bit there, but I know I'm going to use it quickly and then it'll be gone. More hand stitching, just a scrunched up bit of off-cut lace and another flower. I've just had a off-cut bit of lace, and they're from the Crafty Me shop, my tin of snips. I just kind of had it still out, so I used that, and I just hand stitched it across the middle of that paper. Another beautiful lace here with a tag inside and a bit of raw silk. More die cut, lace die cuts, just a snippet on the corner there with the mother of pearl button. Some mesh, a little bit of tangled off-cut lace on there, and more of that gorgeous lace. It's not really lace, is it? It's just a cotton trim, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. More of the, what's that? Oh, that's the sample snippet printable. Another little tag here. They're all backed. Another corner tuck that has hand stitching on it all around the page as well. I did leave threads, they can be cut off easily enough if you don't like them. Another lace die cut there, and see how you can see that hand stitching on the other side. It's really nice, quite effective. Another one of those little tags with the extra little tag in the pocket there. Some vintage doily. It's just, see how it's come off an old doily. You can see the corners, just used that across there. Another little paper clip. A little pocket here that's been all stitched as well with some more of the raw silk. Little tag from the music paper. I think I used the music paper in the last journal, and this was the heading of it, and I just really like just how that looks without being too fussy. So that's the center, and that's not a pocket, that's just stitched onto the bottom of the page. Now I would suggest this kind of journal, you do need a little writing plate or, writing board to sort of sit under there, because it is a little bit lumpy and bumpy. But they're not hard to make. Just make one out of a couple of index cards glued together and you have a nice little writing board. Or just use a thick piece of chipboard or something like that. Another one of those little printables. Really pretty. Very tiny. Not normally that tiny, I don't think. And this is another piece of, what is it, book paper with some snippets from Crafty Me shop on there. That goes in there, and then that one goes there, and that's hand stitched down the side. Little flower, another tag from the Stamperia paper, and another, that's a piece of that lovely trim. Isn't it just gorgeous? Love that. Just the edge of a Crafty Me shop lace, more mesh, more dies from Tim Holtz, the lace dies, really, really pretty. Another little corner tuck there. Lace die cut, more of that lovely vintage doily edge, and I did glue it and then I went over it and hand stitched it as well because I thought it looked nicer. Paper clip, that's the back of the paper clip. It looked a bit strange, so I popped a little flower on the back of the paper clip. And that's the front of it, and I've just done a little bit of slow stitching on a bit of muslin and mesh. Yeah, and then I have got the flower at the top there. This little flip out. I've hand stitched this piece of lace on there. I love that lace, it's so pretty. And these little flowers, look, they're dimensional. See how you can get your thumb under them? They're so pretty. You can see the stitching in the back there. And I glued this little bit of fabric there mainly to make the paper strong enough so that I could pin this little tag there. And that's just a bit of case craft paper and vintage lace. Another little snippet, the other side of that paper with the hand stitching. And then in the back here we have the other side of the pocket. And then this is a longer sample piece, and that's the printable from Lisa and Olive. It's really nice, isn't it? So I have some silk fabric. Let me do it the other way. I have this lovely vintage lace here, and then this other vintage lace, like that. And then this beautiful piece here of cotton trim, and then the silk fabric at the back. So, but of course that was hard to get in. So I got this. This is an old receipt I found quite some time ago. It's from 1959. But I thought this sort of thing, you can rip it up and you can use it in your crafting. So what I've done is I've just folded it up and popped that in there, just to keep those laces nice and tidy and straight, and so that I can pop that into that pocket properly, like that. And another mother of pearl button holding it, you know, all just stitched in that corner. And that is it. That is the lovely Petite Journal number 2. I think I'm going to be doing something slightly different in my next journals, but I think I'm addicted. You know, when you get in the mood for making them, you keep making them, which is good because it keeps you inspired. But I do wonder if people get a bit sick of seeing journals all the time. But I'm still working on my Christmas thing. It's sort of on and off my decor piece, because I like it one minute and I don't like it the next minute. So it's just pushed to the side. Plus it's only just the 1st of December, so it's not really, I'm not really in a hurry. Anyway, this is the journal. I do hope you like it. It will be in my Etsy store if anybody is interested. I think I'm making a slightly bigger one next time. I've got I think I'm making a Christmas journal this year. I rarely make Christmas journals because I don't have a lot of Christmas things, but I am going to make one, like a pretty Christmas journal. It's in pretty colours, so that will be fun because I've never done that before. I've only ever made more sensible kind of Christmas things. I still use my Christmas journal. My Christmas journal is this one here that I made many years ago. In fact, just I'll tell you the date because it's in here. When I won't show you through it though because it's my personal journal and I've got lots going on in here. When I made it, it's a lovely journal. 2017 was when I made it. It was when I started using it. And it's ever so pretty. Look. It really is a lovely journal, and I do like using this, and I use it every year. But I don't actually have a lot to write about at Christmas. You know, I only use probably a few pages each year. So it has served me well, and I think I've still got enough room for one more year. I'm on to the last signature in here now. And a signature usually does like, how many signatures? I don't know. There's 1, 2, I think there's 3 signatures. Yeah, a signature is doing me 2 years. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 20, approximately. I think I've got enough for another year. And then at the end of next year, I'll be having to make myself another personal journal. But I love using this every year. I'm still not overly keen on the red flower, but you know, when I bring it out every year, it does make me happy because I know that's my Christmas journal. And as you can see, I really do use it. And I've kind of made this along those lines as well. If I recall, I do have a video on this, so I'll try and link that in the description box if anybody wants to see this Christmas journal. I only made 2. I've made this one and I made another one which went to, it was for a swap. It was an Australiana Christmas. And that went to Yvonne Preston. Is it Preston White? Yvonne Preston. We all know Yvonne, journal maker. She does wonderful work. Yes, so there we go. I hope you like my little journal that I've made. And like I said, it will be for sale in my Etsy store if anybody is interested. If not, thank you ever so much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. Yep. Hopefully I will be inspired to do other types of crafts. I am joining in on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery for 2023. That should be exciting. I watched the video this morning. I can put a link to that in the description box below also, explaining what is going to be happening. So I have missed doing the slow stitching a little bit, but it was lovely to have a break for the last 6 months because I felt like I was doing it for the last couple of years and wanted to concentrate on doing a few other things. Plus, I really didn't want to do the Christmas theme one. But the next one is right up my alley, or should I say garden path? But I'll put a link and you can see what it's all about yourself anyway. So thank you so much for watching and take care, everybody. Bye.